Hi guys, so we're here and I'm ready to teach you all about volume curls as you saw on our previous video. So one of the things that you have to always focus when you're working with a person or you have a doll head, you have to work chest level so that way you're not hurting your back in the long run since you want to do this for a long period of time. One of the things that we do have to talk about first is you guys have to have a ragtail comb.
I'm gonna be moving a lot, so I'll
Okay.
tell you when to pause, just because I want to make sure they have all the angles.
Okay.
So like this one, now that you're telling it, I'll probably do like
Okay.
here, boom, just so they can see a little bit better.
Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready.
So this is a ragtail comb. So these one we will be using it for doing our sections. Our sections are very important. So we do have to make sure that we're doing our partings straight and neat. That way our hair will look even better. So we always part behind the ear and we make sure that we always brush the hair. The hair must be clean at all times. You would also need a butterfly clip. With the butterfly clip, you make sure you twist the hair. You put pressure so that hair from the front doesn't come to the back and interfere with you. Now we do the same thing on the other side with our ragtail comb. We do a parting behind the ear.
Yep. All right.
So we'll be doing the same thing. We brush the hair. We do a little twist. We grab another butterfly clip and we put it there. Now we have our back section and so now we have our back section. So we brush, we make sure our hair is nice, free of tangle, and we're gonna do separation. So for this part, everything stays on the back and we do sections of 1 finger.
I do that separation thing again. Okay.
So we do sections of 1 finger so we make sure that it's clean and neat. Once we're ready, we're gonna start putting our hair up. And now we have our first section. For this, we will be using, yeah, Matrix Total Result, 24 hours, so it will hold your curls through the whole day. And we also will be using a 1-inch curling iron, and we are gonna put it at 450. All depends on the hair of your client or your doll head. So if your client has bleach hair, we wanna stay more on the lower, so we will stay with 360. But if your client has a medium to coarse hair, we will always stick to the 390. Or if you just want to finish faster hair and the hair it's not damaged, I will stay with the 450 or 3 or 430. There we go. Once your curling iron it's ready to go, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab a section, okay? Our section is gonna be small, okay? About 1.5 fingers. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna grab your hairspray. We're gonna open it. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna apply hairspray on all our section. When we come here, we do a little pinch. We open our curling iron. So if our curling iron is here, we want to turn it completely, open it, and then we're gonna start working with our hair, and we're gonna make sure we're grabbing our ends. So everything has to be there. Okay. We leave it there for about 30 seconds. Once it's ready to go, we pretty much start removing it from the barrel. Once it's ready, now we grab a duck clip and we're gonna pin it up. We do the same thing for our next session. We grab a session of 1.5. We grab our hairspray, we spray it, grab, do a little pinch, and we start curling. And we repeat this till we're done with the whole section. Once it's ready, we remove again from the barrel. Grab our hair. So it's very important not to let go after you remove it from the barrel. Remember, there's heat in there. So we want to make sure that our hair will stay in place for the rest of the day. There's sometimes clients that come to you very early as 5 in the morning, and they still want to look good for 11 p.m. So these will guarantee you that the curls will stay if you do this. Hola.
Where's your keys?
The back.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
You don't need it?
Mm-mm. So do you want me to repeat?
You just take off where you left off.
Okay. So these will be our last session for our bottom section. Same thing, always remember to pinch. Don't forget to turn your barrel and always stay away from the skin because we don't want to burn our client. So one of the things that I always do, put my finger just to make sure that I'm not getting too close. Once it's done, we remove from the barrel. So now next, this is what we'll be doing. Our first curl that we created, it's cold compared to the last one I just did. So once they're cold, I open my duck clip, let go of my curl. So my curl should look like this. Once it's ready, what I do is I pull till it breaks and it brings back the curl. What I want to do is I want to open it up. So on every S that I see, I'll be opening my curls. If your curls tend to look a little bit messy, you could grab these brush and use your use your 5 teeth on the brush. You put your hand in the back of the curl and you see it as if it was a piece of paper. You start brushing. And now if we have an open curl, these ones are very popular right now with all the quinceañeras, especially right now for the quinceañera season. So we could see the difference between one curl and the other. Okay, so this is the original curl that we just created, but then originally we're gonna have these type of curls. So remember, when you bring down, we opened, we only work on our S, which is our curl. Once you have the curl, you grab and then you brush through just to make sure you don't have no flyaways. And then there we go, we have our curl. So next, be doing the same thing. Once everything is done, we start opening our curls. So once it breaks, the first layer of hairspray, I'm ready to go. Make sure all the curls are on the same sequence, so then you get more definition at the end. Once you're done, you don't need the got to be glue from Schwarzkopf. So what you would do is you're gonna spray. So it has to be on an angle that it's going down. If you do this, most of the time what will happen is you're gonna get more flyaway. So you always want to angled your hairspray. Once you're done, we work on our next sessions, and our next session has to be the same. So it has to be a 1-finger parting, and we go all the way across. Okay. So once we're done, make sure that we put our hair tie up so the hair from the top doesn't interfere with the bottom. We start with our sessions. Remember, it's 1.5 fingers. We grab our hairspray, and then we start with the hairspray. We turn our curling iron. For these curling iron, the barrel, it's a little bit longer. Most of the people that want these type of hairstyles, they implement hair extensions, which we'll be adding another video on how to apply hair extensions for more volume. Once I'm done, put my curl up. And then, remember, it's very important to add your pinch and make sure that all your hair is very precise. So everything is compressed and nothing is loose. If you see that your hair is loose, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a different type of curl, and it's not gonna give you the same effect that we're looking for. Grab your section, do a hairspray. Remember the pinch, and then all the hair has to be compressed. To the next session, and we do the spray, do the pinch. Make sure that you're not removing that hairspray. A lot of people like brushing it in particular. I don't. I just like it to stay, and I run my fingers through, and then that's how stays with less frizz, less flyaways as well. Once it's done, we let go. In case you feel that the hair it doesn't have enough hairspray, just remember before putting it up, you could add a little bit more so it could hold better, because we're creating a curl, but then at the end, we're opening them. So we go back, do the pinch, and then remember the precision of the hair. It's the most important part. So remember, always the pinch and precision on the hair. Once you're done, we remove, put our duck clip with the hair up, and we're ready to start opening the hair. Remember to start with the first curl that you created. You bring down, break the bond, so you will hear a little crack, and then we start opening. So this is our first S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we make sure that we keep the structure of the curl in the bottom. Okay. Remember to have one of these brushes. Put your hand, the back. If you're gonna brush through, remember to always hold, because you want to keep that structure and you want your curl to look nice and even. We go on to our next one. Bring it down, break the bond, open the first S, and then we keep on doing that. So if you have a curl that ends up looking like this would always be your best friend, because you're gonna be brushing it so everything could look nice and even. And you could open as much as you will like, because remember, you're creating volume curls. So we're gonna be opening and remember that we have to keep the structure at the bottom. If you put too much hairspray, the first thing that you would need to do is you will need to first brush the hair and then open it up. So we open, we put our hand in the back, and we start brushing through. Brush, and we go on to our last one. So when we go on to our last one, pretty much it's ready to go. It's already cold, so we always wait till our hair has cooled down. And we bring it down, down. So once we have the second one, we go back, spray our Got To Be hairspray, and we're ready for our third session. And all the sessions would depend. There's a lot of people that have a lot of hair. There's a lot of people that don't have much hair. So it just depends. An average on these hairdo will be around an hour to 2 hours and a half, depending on how much hair the person has. Remember to always put precision on the hair so then your partings look clean and even. So once you're ready, we'll go on to the next section. So we go back and go on to our next session. As I've been telling you guys, just make sure that everything is clean. If you see any hairs that are not supposed to be there, just make sure everything is there in place. Your partings must be clean all the time. Once you're done, we put our hair up and we start working on our next session. Remember to grab finger and a half. Once you're ready, spray down. Grab your curling iron. So your curling iron, it's like this, but you always want to turn it around. Once you're there, after creating your pinch, you start curling. And everything is repeated till we get to the front. Okay, so this is how the end part of the back. So this is how your volume curls will be looking. There's different things that we could also implement. We could do a high tease, so that way we get more volume. But it depending if this will be for a quinceañera, we could add a crown and create more volume in the back, or add hair extensions, which we'll be implementing on our next videos. Now we're gonna be working in the front. When we're working in the front, we let go both of our butterfly clips. So we make sure that we brush the hair so everything is neat. If we are doing a middle parting, we make sure that everything is from the nose up. But in this situation, or in this case, we're gonna do a side parting. We could either do a left or a right. I wanna show you guys how to create a frontal. So when we're creating a frontal, we look for the arch of the eyebrow, and that's how we're able to see if we're doing what side. Make sure you ask your client what's the best side that they like. What's their best side that they like? Why is this moving? Once we define our side, we clip the hair, and now we work with our left side. We'll be doing the same thing as we were on the back. We do our sections, and on here we'll grab our first session, grab the hairspray, and we leave the hair for about 30 seconds. Once everything is done, we will remove the hair. little bit of hairspray and then put the hair up. Go on to the second session. Once the hair is done, I'll pin it. So what I will do, since it's only 2 sessions, I'll pin it lower, and then I'll put my duck clip comb angled, and then I'll bring another session. That way we could keep on working fast with our clients, and we don't have to wait till the curl is completely cooled down. Once we're ready, we are gonna put it so our bottom ones will be ready to go. So I remove it. I break the bond, and then I start opening. Grab my brush, and then make sure there's no freeze and everything looks neat. Break the bond and start opening. Now I go with my top ones. Do the same thing. And now I'll do my next session. Once we're done, do the hairspray. We do our next session. And do the same thing. Put some hairspray and pin her hair. Now my fingers have a lot of hairspray, so it gets sticky. Grab the hair, bring it down, open your barrel, and start curling the hair. to our next session. So once you have a sequence, everything will look even, everything will look pretty. So once we're done with the session, remember these are smaller. We bring down the next one. No me quiere Javi. So these will be our last session for our left side. Grab hairspray, do the pinch, and then put precision, and then we close. We go into our next session. Grab hairspray. And then after the pinch, put precision and close the handle. Once we're done, we open. On our last session for our left side. Do the pinch, put precision, and then just go all around it, close the handle, make sure all the ends are in there. And then once we're done, we can remove them. Grab our duck clip, and then now we could start bringing down our bottom section. Sometimes we do have to be careful because they do get stuck. And then I'll bring these three down so everything looks good, and I make sure that I did not grab something that I didn't supposed to. So bring down, break the bond, and then I start grabbing my S, and then grab my brush and go on to the next one, break the bond, make sure I'm brushing, break the bond, sure to add hairspray, bring my last session. On here, we could do different things. Remember, it would just depend on our client. If it's a quinceañera, we'll be doing a different form. But if it's a bride, we could do a pin here and it will look really nice. So we could do different styles. For now, we're gonna move forward on our frontal. So for our frontal part, we have to do a parting. Same thing on the arch of the eyebrow. So we're gonna have this. So we're gonna have a square. So first we're gonna work with these parts. So we're gonna curl these part, and then we'll move forward with our frontal. Make sure you grab your frontal, and then you leave it very precise, and we will start working with our right side. I like having nails in particular just because I could do the partings with my nails. So if you guys have nails, that's one of the things. And I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering, why do I keep on grabbing the hair with my nails? My curling iron has a little tip here so the hair gets stuck. So not all of them have it, but this is really good. So when you open the handle, you just hold it. So that's why it's there. But most of the curling irons don't have this. So you guys don't have to grab the hair. The hair will fall pretty much by itself. So I do my first session. Are here, so we pretty much have a square. So it's from the arch of the eyebrows. So when you guys are working, we want to make sure. So the best way to do it is we grab a part and we could leave it aside. So this part will have to be teased. Once we tease this part, these will give us volume. So we grab. So it will depend also on your brush. So make sure your brush, it has very close by teeth. We grab, push all the way to the scalp, grab, push all the way back to the scalp. The front, we brush out, we brush. Now we have a lot of flyaways. So what we do is we grab our hairspray, we grab our curling iron, and then we put everything in there. Now everything will be nice and neat, and I do the same thing on the other side. So grab, and should be ready to go. We do another session, grab the hair, and then we start teasing all the way to the scalp. Brush the front, make sure we push all the way to the scalp, and grab the hairspray, and then make sure that everything sticks now to the bottom part. If you have a lot of flyaways in the front, make sure you do a slide brush, put some hairspray, and then we have nice and neat. So we're creating our frontal. We grab again, lift the hair, brush, brush. We brush the front. And then now, put hairspray, and then we put everything together. And we do the same thing. Make sure that this area, the front part, it's gonna be looking nice, and you always wanna hold if you're gonna be brushing the front. And you do this as high as you want. So it would depend on the client as well. There's clients that they want a high frontal. There's clients that they just want a little. So it would just depend. Grab hairspray. Grab our next part. We do 2 sessions all the way to the scalp. Brush up. Put hairspray. Make sure that all the flyaways go away. Brush. Brush, brush. Spray. Bring everything together. And then now, make sure we just brush a little. Once we're ready, spray. Make sure that everything looks nice and neat. And then we have part of our frontal ready. The hair that was left, this one has to be straightened, so that way it will cover anything that's on here. For this part, you'll be needing hairspray wax from Redken. So what you would do, your section, your last section, you need to spray. Grab your strainer and then just brush, strain up. So you will have to strain up like if you were brushing up. That way you don't have lines or anything like that and everything looks even. Once you're done with this part, the hair will want to come to the front. So for the last part and the most important, we brush. We grab our hairspray. We make sure there's enough hairspray. We grab our curling iron and we put pressure in there. These will make it hold and get stick in there. And the hair will stay like this. And like I said, it will depend on each person in particular how high the frontal will be. Let it dry and then we could start curling this part. But now we're gonna start doing it different. So we're gonna grab sections that are straight instead of going sideways. And we pretty much do the same thing. We curl, put pressure, and once it's ready, we just let it go. Grab, put pressure, precision on the hair. inch precision. And we're leaving part of it out. Put hairspray. On here, we go back, remove, and then everything will be structured as the hair falls back. We open our curls. Break the bonds. Open. Just make sure you remember which one you put first. And some of your curls won't need you to brush them, but the ones you do, just make sure you do brush them. And the curl. On our last one, we do want to brush so everything looks nice and neat. So on here, we will change it. We'll give it an S so that way it falls and it's not on her face. So these are some open curls that you could create. Right now, they're the most top selling hairstyles. And you could start any style like this at around $250 per hairstyle. That's not including hair extensions or any other additional hair pieces. If you have any questions, make sure you leave your question in the question tab in the chat. So I hope you learned and you make the best out of it. So this is the open curls.